At the house. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. The wet noodle. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. Larry's out here lost as hell on the lake. That night he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor. Even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop! Good job, Judge. I'm so glad I didn't have to get out the crayons to explain this to you. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, this is the part where it suddenly cuts to me having to do one of those stupid fucking comics from the end of H Kid Trial and Danganronpa, and I just exit the game and just uninstall. The caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. Minus the quitting, that'd be disappointing. Wouldn't it, though? He shot twice, both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. he's even great, god damn it. Now if only he was bald and naked. I don't think anyone wants to see at least one of those things. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Ms. Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop, then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. It is actually pretty clever. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Why didn't Edgeworth say anything about that? Because he probably assumed the dude was dead as well. Very well, while we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant Miles Edgeworth a few questions. Hey, Edgy is here. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? That's true. It's actually a fair point. Because the defendants are always worthless. What they do. What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. The fuck are you talking about? You can't give a verdict. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him and I want to know who he is. Very well, court is adjourned. And of course that'll be my job. Because the prosecution is incapable of doing theirs. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you just say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. That's the closest thing Edgeworth can get to a smile. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. I just have to get it off my chest. I love you, you big dumb bastard. And I don't know whether to tell you or not to tell you. See? I'm telling you. Edgeworth is tsundere. That's it. That's all there is to it. Edgeworth. No. There's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but Jesus Christ, they're even using the same wording I did. I just can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. December 27th, 2:11 p.m. And we're back at the office. This is some bullshit. It skipped his love confession. What the fuck? What was Edward talking about? Memory of a crime that I committed. Unnecessary flashback, everybody drink. A memory of a murder. Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed? I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently. But he'd never take someone's life. Never. Nick. Yo, how's everyone doing? This is chapter 4. So this is the chapter where we should get a self-sacrifice? That's the MO of chapter 4, right? Chapter 1 is... Apparently chapter 4 is the Danganronpa chapter. Jesus Christ, the similarities are dawning. Ah, no, we get at least one unnecessary flashback per chapter in this game. What do you think of my performance today? I had him swooning in the aisles, huh, Maya? Swooning? Me? Oh yes, I do remember feeling faint. Right on. Tell me the truth. It was like love at first sight, right? She's 17, Larry. Right, Nick? Huh? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. You made my heart go doki doki, Larry. I think you can do better than that. Come on, I saved Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy. You guys should be bowing before me. Bow before your hero. Larry, you really helped out at the trial today. Did. If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. But seriously, Nick. That boat shop caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know? But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty edgy. I mean, can you really know how he's telling the truth about that night? Nick? I don't know. But what I do know is, I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us too? Edgeworth and who else? You mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me? You're useless, Maya. Go purify some water or something. But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah, why me, Nick? Huh, enough with the silent treatment. Oops. Nick! Why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true. But when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? You didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. They saved me, Miles and Larry. They saved me and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know. What? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Sorry, I kind of forgot. Huh. Okay, Nick, out with it. I'm gonna hear this story today and that's final. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial, a class. I'm sorry, I can't. was on trial. A class trial.
Class trial?
The class trial. You remember Larry, spring, and a third grade? That'd be one hell of Danganronpa. Everybody's the third grader. God damn it. A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen.
Lunch money?
Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home.
I see.
Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared with $38 still inside.
Oh, yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that.
I can see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class.
So they thought you did it?
Yeah, the kids in class said I should be put on trial. I bet that was one hell of a biased jury, right?
Trial?
So the next day, we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant. If I had been found guilty, I would have been executed.
I didn't do it. Guilty, he did it. Guilty, it was you, thief. Get the money back. You're such a meanie. No one play with him. Just admit you did it. You can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth. We're not going to play with you anymore. Yeah, no borrowing my eraser. He should be allowed in the relay race or on the library committee. Give me back my 50 cents I loaned you. Hey, did you rob that bank the other day? Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal other people's money. It's not right.
In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it.
Go over and apologize, Phoenix.
I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad, I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize. I went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. That's when it happened. Yeah, the desks are even in a circle. It's just like Danganronpa.
He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You shouldn't all be ashamed. Amateurs. Miles?
Even then, Miles had the most ridiculous outfit.
It wasn't you who stole the money, was it? No. Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent.
The original desk slam. And the finger pointing for making objections. Miles was the original. Phoenix is just the copy. Miles is Kirigiri. Phoenix is Shuichi.
But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it. He's the one. We don't need proof. Make him say he's sorry. Why don't you all just shut up? This is always how it is. Everybody ganging up and picking on one person.
The better copy, though.
Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. Very well. I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. And since the blackened was not found, you all get executed.
He does get better results, this is true. That's how it happened. After that, the three of us were the best of friends.
Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot.
That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone without a friend in the world.
You did a good thing, Larry.
Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. If I'd been there, they would have thought I'd done it. So I took it kind of personally, see? The whole class died that day. We were the only survivors. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father.
I'm gonna become a defense attorney, just like my father. A famous defense attorney.
Then a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school.
The DL6 incident.
Right. I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death.
That's so sad.
It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney. Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything.
But why? What happened? I mean, that's not edgy. Or that's not the edgy I used to know at all.
That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him I don't know how many times. He never replied.
I guess he didn't want to see his old friends.
I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him to learn why he had become who he'd become. That's when I decided.
Wait, you don't mean... That's why? That's why you became a defense attorney? Just to meet Edgeworth? God, you make stupid decisions, Phoenix.
If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. In court. Edgeworth believed in me and I believe in him. He's in pain and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him.
Whoa, Nick. So is that why you helped me out for free?
Yeah. No, it's because you're poor, Larry. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I do it for free.
Oh, Nick.
God damn it, it is a love story. I told you. It's right there in the title. No other ships are acceptable.
Nick! We have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay?
Right. It very well may be.
First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is.
I'd settle for who. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Okay, let's go. What do we take out?
I might need all of that shit. What did you guys do?
I'm a hoarder when it comes to evidence. Truth bullets are important, so sue me. Go see if they have any leads. Looks like Detective Gumshoe hasn't gotten back yet.
Gumshoe, he won't be back today. Oh, really? He said there was some guy he had to arrest by tomorrow.
The boat shop caretaker.
You shouted something about catching him if it's the last thing I do, pal.
Good luck, Gumshoe. You have a bullet? I do have a bullet as evidence. It is a truth bullet. This whole episode is such... Here's the funny thing is, I would be surprised if this game came out after Danganronpa. That's the funny thing. Is that I'd be really surprised, because this is a really old game. Like, hella old. Well, we gotta go down here next then. That makes the most sense. Hey, pal. Long time no see.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe.
Close one today, eh? I got so worked up I snapped my thigh in half. I think that the first Danganronpa is somewhere around 10 years old. So I can't imagine that this game is new. That this game is newer. This game is hella old. Sorry about that. No problem, pal. Thanks to you, we now know who really did it.
You mean the boat shop caretaker?
Look, I'll make you a promise. I'll have that scoundrel in my custody by trial time tomorrow. Probably, that sounds about right. Come what may. It's my duty to you as a police officer. Now I'm off to catch me a criminal. Oh yeah, that's what I figured that's what you meant. I was pretty sure you were right.
Detective Gumshoe sure is active today.
Oh, one other thing. No one can go into the woods today.
The woods?
Where Lotta was camping? Yes, the original Danganronpa was released in November of 2010. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney was released in 2001. So maybe just this chapter was written by the dude who does all of Danganronpa. Maybe that's what it is. It's weird, the number of similarities, like, really weird. The woods are off limits to camping, and apparently the park ranger found out. He got pretty mad. No one can go in for a while.
I guess Lotta's in a lot of trouble.
Anyway, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Okay. Huh? The steel eyesore is missing.
Eyesore!
Looks like the hot dog stand is closed too.
I guess Larry's too busy worrying about Mr. Edgeworth to show up to work. That old caretaker got away.
Yup.
I never imagined he might be the real murderer.
Well, who else was it gonna be? Lotta? Ahem. I know that clearing of the throat anywhere. Aha, hello! What might you be doing here? Out for a walk, Ah, the days of my youth, like the scent of fresh lemon, you see.
Mr. Grossberg! This is no time for idle reminiscing. Mr. Edgeworth's trial ends tomorrow.
That is true, yes. But from what I saw of today's trial, Edgeworth should be fine, right? Well, I'm not so sure about that. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm not sure. If you find anything out, come out by my office at once. I may be able to offer you some assistance. Thanks. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
What do you think Mr. Grossberg was doing here anyway?
Who knows? Nothing's changed.
The caretaker must run for the hills, huh?
Yeah, looks like it.
He didn't seem like a bad person.
Really? He didn't? Alright. An interesting choice. He left his bird? What an asshole.